let's talk about Wanda, your episode that won the Emmy. Heart. You really start with tension, so much tension. Even I is trapped.
Yeah.
What was your thoughts about composing and kind of like heighten the tension at the beginning?
Yeah, as you said at the beginning, Evanine is trapped and Cadmus is kind of giving her his whole rundown of his plan. And we're, of course we got to still use our theme, but in a very like tension, kind of way. So then when we get to the end of the episode, it's like you follow that journey from front to end. And it was really fun to be able to craft that. And that whole episode is amazing.
I did like this. I love the sequence where the birds are fighting, like calling that thing. What was the part of the composing for that? Because that was really your battle scene.
Yeah, as far as the birds one, it inspired me to do a bunch of like fun, really fast string runs and woodwind runs, and just kind of add to the chaos of it. Because Evanine feels so much for the creatures and for Obona, and it was just like so heart wrenching to score that scene. Honestly, like she's really trying to bridge the gap between humans and the aliens. So it was really fun.
I was moved by this because after the battle, and she's close to death. Like she's not doing well, but her determination. How do you want to compose that? Because she's still, we fear for her dying, but we also see the determination in her eyes going forward, trying to do it. What was your thoughts of composing that almost a very intimate scene?
It was, and it was one of my favorite scenes to score. Like for her coming down the tunnel, almost dying. So of course I brought in like solo cello, showing her loneliness, like she's about to die. And then when she enters in the sanctuary, and you see the beautiful, like you see the heart, you see the beautiful intertwining visuals and the plants and the source of water. I got to add a lot of like ethereal vocals, and just to kind of add in that kind of magical touch. And I love doing that, and that was like a signature sound of mine, and the filmmakers really wanted to push that. And once we get to meet the heart and they get to have a conversation, I really, really love that cue, because it was like almost like a conversation between the two of them, because they're kind of merging, and she's entering into the heart. And so I started that with like a solo cello communicating with the solo violin, and they kind of just merge and intertwine, have a conversation. And then it's really satisfying when it starts from there, and then it builds up to that when all the strings come together, all the orchestra comes together. It feels like almost heartbreaking and very emotional. So that was a very, very important scene, and one of my proudest music that I wrote for that.
Yeah, and I did like the fact that there's two things going on, with the heart saying, "Yeah, I'm okay. Don't worry about me."
Yeah.
And no, you're going to die. Like that. How would you be mixing the composing? Because you had really two conflicting characters fighting each other in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
What was the thoughts about that? Trying to carry that duality.
Yeah, the duality. That's a really good point that you just said. Like a lot of the scores for Wondla is the duality. Like epic versus intimate, beautiful versus dark. Light versus darkness, and it really came from how do I develop my themes to match that. And instrumentation is a big thing. When you have a theme that I used across all these episodes, I feel like the audience already have like a connection with that melody. So like when you're like developing it does tell a story. And that was something that was really important to the filmmakers, is to create a theme that's memorable, because we're going to use that theme all across 3 seasons, and to see the development of her.
Now you have, I think, a very big composing challenge. How does one compose for ecological disaster? Because that was the world's not in great shape at the end of your episode in the finale. But how would one compose for the destruction of the environmental destruction?
That was difficult. I really brought in like my all the brass, all the epic choir, and almost like a requiem. And we titled it Requiem for Obona because of that. Because that planet is dying, and like when you get to that point and you think about like the previous 2 seasons, where she gets to where she is, it's devastating. Like she's finding like the planet is dying, and she's really trying to save it. So I really put out all my orchestra, like the biggest of the most epic and release almost, and then that happens, and then the end credits, if you stayed past that, it's just an intimate, dark solo cello. And I thought that was a really great contrast to be like, we want the audience to feel, oh my god, what just happened? The planet is dead, our main character is dead. And it's fun. I love that. I love making people cry, making people feel surprised, and Wondla is just a fantastic canvas, a fantastic show to do that.
So how has it been for you, arcing the whole entire multiple seasons and telling this story?
Very gratifying, and I'm so connected to the story and to the characters and my team. Like spending almost 3 years with these characters, it becomes like, I'm constantly thinking about them and thinking about like what are they feeling. It almost is like saying bye to your friends once the season has ended. And I did have a few months of grief, almost like saying bye to the characters, and I'm so attached and I love it. And I think because of that, though, I feel like that's why the score resonates and that's why our show resonates, because everyone truthfully really wants to like show the heart of these characters, and I hope it translates. Yeah.
All right, so you won the Emmy recently, and also the first Malaysian artist to ever win it. That's
Yeah.
that's right. What? How was the experience winning that, and now hopefully opening the doors for other artists' voices to be heard?
Yeah, that's a wild stat when that happened, because Michelle Yeoh is the first Oscar winner in Malaysia, and I'm the first Emmy winner. So it's wild. The support has been amazing. Like, coming from a small village in Malaysia, like I never thought I could be here. So to get this support, I really hope that I can be a small little motivation or inspiration for someone. I think that it's enough for me. Like if my story, can help someone realize that maybe we also have a perspective, a unique story to tell and a unique perspective to bring to the table, I think it's always very gratifying. And yeah, what an honor.